Alexa, I'm trans, so you know what that means. I'm part girl, part guy, 100% of disappointment to my family. The thing about transitioning, my family wasn't supportive, but my work was super supportive about my transition. I came up to them and I was like, I want to be treated like a woman. And they did. I now make 25 cents less an hour. But I'm the only woman that they give maternity leave to. Mostly because they know I'll never get pregnant. Not because I don't have a uterus, but because I can't keep a man. I kind of wish I could get pregnant though. That's probably one of the suckiest parts about being trans, because I can't get pregnant. And I heard pregnancy changes your taste, and I have horrible taste in men. For instance, I'm looking at that table over there. I have never been wetter in my life. Like, I'm just looking at those sideburns, man, and I'm just like, floodgates over here. It looks like Noah's Ark. We're about to take one of each animal and sail across it. It's hard dating as a trans woman, because when you're trans, you don't know who you're supposed to date. Like, are you supposed to date gay guys? Are you supposed to date straight guys? Are you supposed to date bi guys? I typically date mechanics. They're the only men who know how to tighten a nut to completion. They know how to deal with all types of equipment under the hood. And they're happiest when they're elbow deep in a tranny. But I never know what to say if a guy hits me in public. Am I just supposed to be like, hey sir, just so you know, if you buy me that shot of whiskey, that's not the only thing that's gonna be stiff. I kind of think that's why God invented Adam's apples. Like, can someone name the medical purpose of an Adam's apple? I'll tell you, it's like a warning label on a pack of cigarettes. This product might contain a penis. I've had to come out 3 times in my life. First, I came out as gay. Then, I came out as trans. This year, I came out as a Karen. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm not like a normal trans person. There are just certain things about the trans community I don't get. Like, do y'all know what non-binary is? Mm-hmm. It's LGBT talk for an attention whore.
Right. Big facts. Big facts.
It's like Demi Lovato came out as non-binary. You all know why? The overdose didn't give her enough coverage, I guess. But with non-binary, it's a statistical fact that most non-binary people are biologically female. So you know what that means. White women have found another way to make everything about them. Also, I don't understand, like, trans people got really mad at Dave Chappelle, and I don't get it. Because there are so many other things trans people could be mad about, like prison system, healthcare. Who keeps buying all the size 27 women's heels at DSW? Probably Tyler Perry shopping for his next movie. Do you know how hard it is to find big women's clothing? It's awful. Women's clothing comes in 3 sizes. Small, medium, and that's a man, Maury.
That's a man, Maury.
My mom, she's come a long way since I first came out, but she's in the really inquisitive stage. Now, to picture my mom, you have to know, she's the type of woman who's been smoking a pack of Virginia Slim Luxury Light 120s, the one with the yellow stripe, every single day since she was about 4 years old. So one day I came home, and my mom's sitting on the couch watching Tucker Carlson, and she's just chain smoking. And she turns to me and she says, "So honey, I get this whole woman thing. But the one thing I don't get is how do you orgasm?" And I was like, oh, of course a woman watching a guy in a bow tie doesn't know anything about orgasms. At first I kind of thought it was sad my mom was asking how I orgasm. But it's way more pathetic my mom is the only one who cares if I come. So I told her, I was like, Mom, I orgasm the same way every other woman does. After the guy finishes, by myself with a vibrator. There was one, That woman is probably going to get in an argument later. It's like, oh, I thought that was the electric toothbrush this entire time. Anyone in here ever have to go through like the millennial breakup? That's where you break up, but you're too poor to move out, so you have to finish out the lease. I had to live with someone I broke up with for a year. And I can tell you, it's basically like living in the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. We would only communicate through passive-aggressive radio signals. Like he would play F You by CeeLo Green. I would play Beat It by Michael Jackson. He would play You're So Vain, and then I would play with 3 of his friends on his bed while he was at work. He actually heard that joke and got super offended. He was like, that's unrealistic, and I'm like, you're right. It was 4 of your friends and on your couch. There's a stereotype about trans women that I really hate. Because guys always say to trans women, they're always like, trans women give the best head. That sets the bar way too high. Because I give head like a first grader learning to play the flute. I'm just like, did it come yet? That's probably why I'm single. I'm on all the dating apps. I'm on Tinder, I'm on Bumble, my personal favorite where I lost my virginity, Craigslist. I just put myself down in the used goods section. I don't know, I feel like part of it's probably because my family is from Kentucky. And since COVID, we haven't had a family reunion, so can't find the men there. My dad's side of the family is Puerto Rican, and I'm committing the cardinal sin of being Puerto Rican. I don't speak Spanish. That's like being a white woman and not asking to speak to the manager. There's only one Spanish phrase I know, it's very important. It's cuidado, piso mojado, which means caution, wet floor. I've only used that phrase one time. Have any of y'all ever had to pass a drug test?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you pass it?
I used that unisex urine that you get at the head shop.
I know you probably got the urine from a person. Probably one of the strippers you were seeing. Before she died. So, I bought some fake pee. And I was microwaving it at my dad's house. And as I'm microwaving it, pulling it out, my dad walks behind me. I got so scared I spilled the pee everywhere. But I knew exactly what to do. I was like, cuidado, piso mojado. And he was so proud he let me use his pee. And that's how I failed for cocaine. Thank you guys.
Keep it going!
I like that. The more you use a man.
All right, everyone, your next comic of the night.